Hey guys, Brielle here from DD Philadelphia, and what I wanted to show you guys today is how to clean, take apart, and put back together your airbrush gun. This is the Iwata BCN gun. This is the top press. So when you are doing an airbrush tan, contour tan, more specifically for contour, we use HVLP guns for the whole body. This is more for contouring or makeup or just like special effects makeup and things like that. But what I'm referring to is going to be for my students that do contour, for other artists that do contour. So this is going to be your gun. When it comes in its packet, it's going to be this and this. It does come with a wrench. We'll go over that later for what piece that's for. But so essentially this usually is having some like solution and stuff in it. So this is going to be 3 parts right here. Let me just put that down gently. So this is going to be 3 parts right here. Take it all apart, rinse it, soapy water, hot water. That way you can rinse it off really good, get the solution out of it. You may see your solution staining over time. And now what we're going to do next is take apart the gun. So it is so important to make sure that you are cleaning it out at the end of the day at minimum, just because the solution, when it oxidizes, it can cause metal things to rust. So this is so important to clean your metal guns that you use for spray tanning, your plastic guns you use for spray tanning, and specifically these guns because they are so sensitive. So what we're going to do is turn this piece until it exposes the needle and the parts right here. This is going to turn. And then once I get to here, I want to pull out the needle. You can see it's a little wet just because I did clean this gun prior to showing you guys. So we want to take the needle out. You want to make sure that you always keep like it's super protected, just because when that needle bends, that means it's not going to have a straight airflow. It's not going to come out as even. So you want to make sure that you are very cautious with the needle, because if the needle don't work, nothing's coming out. And then next we are going to turn this piece right here, and this is actually going to be 3 pieces. Once we turn it, get it loose. So it's going to be this piece, the spring, and then this piece. So what I like to do is keep those together, separate those, and when you pull that out, the trigger is actually going to come out also. And then last, we're going to pull this top piece off. So this is actually 2 pieces. I'm going to show you that. And also, since I may have less solution in my gun before, it is going to be a little rusty at the top. So you're going to see it's kind of like a little copper color. And the reason why we have the wrench is because this piece right here, that nozzle part, is super sensitive. If that gets bent, if that gets taken off, you're not going to be able to reduce the quality contour tan. So you want to make sure that you're very sensitive with that. These pieces, I believe you can buy all of them either off the Iwata site, off of Blick Art Supplies. That's been a definitely game changer for me. So this piece actually too is 2 pieces itself. I usually keep them together just to have one less piece rolling around, possibly move. And you want to make sure that you are very particular with this piece right up in front that I took off, because if that is bent, that is going to affect your airflow. So let's say if there's, so see how it's out and it's rounded. If something gets dented in, your machine is going to start shooting out splatty. I've seen it done before. I've had it happen to myself. I had to replace this piece. That was a nightmare because I wasn't familiar with where to buy these pieces. I knew people use this gun for spray tanning and they were familiar with stuff like that, but I felt like no one ever really talked about parts. So Iwata, Blick store, I look in particular for like the BCN parts. That way you aren't getting so confused with all the different airbrush guns that are out there. So pretty much this is going to be it. Like this, you're going to have this and then all these other little pieces that are right there. So I like keeping everything on a paper towel. That way I kind of can see everything. Everything's around each other. What I will do next, if this wasn't already cleaned, I would do some hot water and a couple like pours of rubbing alcohol. That way you're going to start seeing it kind of like disperse, like the spray tan solution. You're going to see it come out and stuff like that. You're going to let that sit for a couple minutes, pull that back out, grab some paper towels, dry everything. You also may want to do like a pipe cleaner in the inside of this and the inside of your tools and stuff. I have the brush from my Fuji gun. That could be helpful if you just like put it in there, kind of like rub it around real good. I usually do that with when I have it on top of the bowl and stuff. And also you can grab things like these like little brushes from like the dollar store in case you want to wipe anything down. Just because that was my fault when I was cleaning this, I was a little too rough with this nozzle part and I broke it. So that's why I have a backup gun now, just in case something does happen. And I also have a gun that I'm using for parts now because it got stuck and I couldn't use it no more. But we have the pipe cleaner, we have that. And now we're going to put it back together. So take time with this. Once, like, don't do this for like a day that you have to like use it immediately. Like, give yourself some time to put it back together. You want to get more comfortable, more familiar with it. I would try to space out, maybe have a backup, that way you have a gun like ahead of time already set up. But be patient with yourself and give yourself time to learn this gun. I wish when I bought this that I knew how to clean it. I kind of had to Google stuff and I was already too far gone and I started to rust everything. So what I'm going to do, I'll put this front piece back on. Like I was saying, that's what I meant to say. So you want to carry like some WD-40 or some lube in case you start seeing things on your gun aren't turning as fast enough. I did have to lube this part when it was in my gun because it was hard to turn. I lubed it up. I actually put it, kind of sprayed it all over my gun because I wanted to be shiny, nice. Wanted to prevent it from having rust. So maybe that would be a good option to do before you're about to start getting into stuff. That way you lube it up a little bit. So then we're going to do this piece first. So this part is a little bit tricky, but we will handle it. So I like doing it so that the point, like the pointy side, this side, I like putting it in just like that, kind of scooping it in there. And then when you get it in there, you're going to turn it around and you're going to literally see that little lever right out front be at the top. So I'm going to do it again. So you're going to pull it out like this, kind of slide it into the gun, turn it around, and you'll see it come out. I'll do it again. Push it down. It kind of looks like it's sliding in there. And the way that it gets put in there, when you turn it around, you're going to see it come right off top. Give yourself some time with this. And then I'm going to put the spring, because that's what's going to help the gun push back and forth. Because we're going to need that trigger to come back. And then I'm putting, so it's the pushback from the trigger, the spring, and then everything that holds that together. You're going to screw that right in. And then, so now that we have the trigger or pump or whatever, so there's a round side and you'll see like a flat side. So this is the flat side. We're going to put that towards the front. Round side stays towards the back. So you're going to push this back. You're going to feel like the pressure from it. I'm just going to move that, loosen that a little bit. Yep. All right, we'll loosen that a little bit. I'll push, if you feel like it's too tight, just loosen up this part right here. And then you're going to push this back. Hold this in, that flat side towards the front. And then tighten this back up. Just because it needs to know that that trigger is back in there. So it has some girth to it. All right, tighten this up. So you can't see. Now this is going to be able to push back. You're going to see them both move very similar to each other. So this is where we're going to put the needle back in. Please be very careful with the needle, just like you would for the front and for that nozzle. You're just going to put it through the little hole in the back. Slide that right through. So this is essentially the cover for the needle. If the needle ever gets exposed, that's not good because you have to cover the needles. That's the most important piece in this. That makes everything go. All right, so you screw that back in. Now we're going to screw the back covering in. And you're going to see this little black spacer right here. Make sure that's on there. If you don't see one, get a replacement or get some extra parts. All right, and then we're going to screw that back in. So this is all together now. Nice, clean. I had the cup right here, the cup top, and then I had the little piping right here. Just stick the piping in the top, put that in the cup, screw it on real good. And you're going to notice that your cup's going to fit into your gun more and more. It's going to fit towards it. Just because I feel like this plastic is so tough that you have to wear it down a little bit. It's not going to be until you do a couple go-arounds with the machine and stuff, doing it multiple times, that it's going to fit right in perfect. I did notice with a couple different guns that I had, some fit better than others. But when you ultimately keep doing tans, run around with it, keep washing it, and stuff like that, it's going to fit a lot better. Because this always didn't fit so snug to it. All right, so we put that back in and you're ready to go. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a message. And then ultimately what I also want to say is that this needle is going to connect everything together. If this trigger wouldn't stay like this if that needle wasn't going through it. So you have to do everything from the front to the back. And then besides putting that back cover, you're going to slide that needle through. And also, I'm just going to turn this off. So once I put everything in up to here, needle goes in, then you're going to screw this on to hold that in place, and then you're going to put that cover on there to protect that. And then this is a great gun for, I like this preferably. I know I have some friends who like the more of a trigger one. I like the top press. Personally for myself, your fingers do get a little bit achy. As spray tanners, we want to make sure that we are stretching our fingers and our bodies, because we don't want to get so stuck in carpal tunnel and things like that. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Make sure you keep your guns clean. Shoot me a message if you have any questions. Let me know how you like this video. Take care.